Hello everyone, my name is Gwangbae Choi and today I will talk about our paper, Post-Compromise Security in Self-Encryption. So as a start, I will explain about Self-Encryption. When we use cipher or crypto system, there are two different entities, sender and receiver. But here in Self-Encryption, these two entities are the same one. So there's a device who encrypts for itself to decrypt in future. For the security, we assume that there is some kind of internal state, and this internal state leaks time to time. And here are some applications of self-encryption. So one is cloud storage, and another one is zero RTT session resumption. For cloud storage, there is a client who encrypts the file to store, and this client will decrypt the file to use for himself. And in the case of zero RTT session resumption, there's a server who encrypts the session resumption key, which need to be kept by the client. And when client reconnects to the server, client will send this resumption key to the server, and server will recognize who was this client by decrypting this key. So in both cases, there's only one single entity who encrypts and decrypts. Then now the problem will be as following. What kind of security do we need? As a start, I will explain about force security and post-compromise security. So we assume that there's some system which serves some sessions by time. And now we assume that the state was compromised at some point of the time. Then force security will be the security of sessions before the state compromising. And post-compromise security is security of sessions after the state compromising. And here we have some trivial solution for force security and post-compromise security. So in this example, the state is simply a list of keys. And the encryption works as follows. So first we encrypt the message with a random key, and we add this random key into the state. And we return the encrypted message and the index of the key in the state as a ciphertext. Then after this, the decryption is quite straightforward. So first, we just need to get the key from the state by using the correct index. And we just need to decrypt the ciphertext with this key. And after this, we remove the key from the state. So this example actually has both force security and post-compromise security, because each session is only dependent to random key, which will be removed after decrypting. But here we have some problem. So first we assume that there were n encryptions and none of them were decrypted. That means in the state there are n keys. So if n increases, the size of state also increases. So actually this is the problem that we want to solve in this paper. So in this paper, we focus on post-compromise security. And in the previous works, post-compromise security was always achieved by inflating the state size. Then the question that we had was this: is it really necessary? So now let's start the presentation. So this presentation consists of two parts: impossibility result part and the application part. So this impossibility result will be the main part, and application part will be the part that we are using this result to other ones. So now let's start from the impossibility result part. As a start, we need to define a new primitive, which is self-encrypted Q, sec. So it consists of three algorithms: gen, enc, and dec. So this gen takes some security parameter and it outputs state. So basically, it generates an initial state. And next one is enc, which is the encryption algorithm, which takes state and outputs new state and plaintext and ciphertext. So basically, it updates the state and adds to the Q a new message, which is PT in clear and CT in encrypted form. Then next algorithm is dec, which is the decryption. So it takes state and ciphertext, and either output new state and plaintext or failure. So basically what it does is it will update the state and decrypt city, which leads to the queue. And here is the correctness of sec. So it is defined as this algorithm. So we define as a correctness at level n. So first we generate the state like this. And after that, what we need to do is we just need to encrypt n messages. And after that, what we will do is simply decrypt m messages. But while decrypting, what we want to have, what you want to make sure is the PTI, so the PT which was generated in enc, and PTI prime, which is just decrypted by this algorithm, is equal. So basically, if all the after n encryptions, if all n decryptions are correct, then we say it's n correct. Then now we will define the security of sec. So basically it's slightly different from the security notion that we have in the paper. So in the paper we have some other parameter which is delta, but in this presentation we simplified the notion. So this is an example with delta equal to 1. So basically the security gain is as follows. So first we generate the state with the gen algorithm, and then we will encrypt m messages. Then after this, we simply call the adversary with some inputs. But here, which is important is these parameters. So I mean, the argument that we are giving to the adversary. So here, as you can see, we have ct1 to ctm. But the state that we are giving to the adversary is stm-1, so which was the state that we used to encrypt ctm-1. And the adversary need to find some z, which is equal to PTM. So basically, given the state of the previous, so given previous state, the adversary should correctly decrypt the current ciphertext. And after this, we say this sec with level n is secure if for any PPT algorithm A, if the probability that the adversary to win in this game is negligible. Then now this will be this is the main result of our paper. So it's impossibility result on sec. So the theorem says if sec has a state size smaller than 2 power L, and then there exists some m and n and some adversary with of small complexity whose advantage is at least this value. And apparently this proof of this theorem is quite long, so here I cannot show the entire proof, but instead I will just show you how it works. So first thing that we need to know is this one. Actually, the state is constrained after n encryptions. So actually that's true because after n encryptions, the state must correctly decrypt n ciphertext, and we consider this one as a constraint to the state. And next one is quite interesting result. So as a start, we introduced the notion of superstate. So here the superstate is a state which can correctly decrypt more ciphertext than expected. And actually, the probability that a random state to be a superstate increases with n. And about this one you can find in our proof. And after that, what we do is quite simple. We just build an adversary which uses this superstate for the attacks. Then now let's see how the adversary works. And what it does is quite simple. So as we just saw, the adversary will take the state of m-1 and also ciphertext 1 to ciphertext m. And what it does is quite trivial. So first it just encrypts m messages, and after this he will just try to decrypt all messages, and then it output this PTM bar as a correct one. So if we see the right part, it's more easy to understand. So here, this branch is the branch of the state that we use to generate the CT1 to CTM. And this STM-1 is given to the adversary. So in this attack, what adversary does is simply he just encrypts up to m messages, And then after this, the adversary just expect this st prime n to be a superstate, which can correctly decrypt ctm. And actually this is all for the adversary. So if we interpret our result, we can also say like this. The state needs a size L such that L is bigger than n over 2 log to 1 over 4 n epsilon. And here epsilon is the advantage of the adversary, minus 1, to achieve security up to n encryptions. So it means that the size L must be superlinear in n, where n is the number of encryptions that the state can decrypt. And next problem will be this one, how to use this result. So actually we focused on sec because we can build sec from other primitives. So what we will do in this next part will be quite straightforward. So first we take some stateful system S, and then we will construct sec from S. But here which is important is that the state size should remain same or same magnitude. And after that, we will construct an adversary A against the post-compromise security of S. And this adversary will simulate an adversary B of sec. So by doing this, what we can get is like this. So we will have that S requires superlinear state size in terms of n to achieve post-compromise security. And here is same as before, n is the number of ciphertexts which can be decrypted by state. Then now let's try to apply this result. So in our paper, we applied our result to following primitives: self-ratchet scheme and bi-directional ratcheted communication. And from these primitives, we can have following applications. So first example is zero RTT session resumption. And for this one, we have shown that sec can be constructed from the session resumption protocol from other paper. And after the cloud storage, quite similar to the zero RTT session resumption case. So basically, we can just consider client reconnection in zero RTT session resumption as user connection to the cloud. And the ticket that we were using in zero RTT session resumption as encrypted user file in the cloud storage case. And another application is instant messaging. So actually, instant messaging was kind of studied a lot, and as you can see, there is some result that we cited. And in these papers, post-compromise security was achieved by inflating state size. And by applying our result, we can prove that this state size inflation was necessary. Then now let's start from self-ratchet scheme. As a start, I will give you the definition of self-ratchet scheme, SR scheme. So SR consists of 4 algorithms: init, enc, dec, and punc. So init is the same as gen of our sec. So basically it will output an initial state. And enc is the encryption algorithm which takes ST and PT, and it will output another ST and CT. So basically it will update the state while producing a plaintext and ciphertext pair. And dec will take state and ciphertext, and it will output plaintext or some failure. And basically it decrypts CT into PT. And punc is a new algorithm that we didn't see in sec. So basically it takes state and ciphertext, and the output will be simply ST prime. So what it does is simply update the state size by puncturing CT in ST. Then now let's see how we can build sec from SR. So here we will create some sec algorithm from SR. So first we start from gen algorithm. So gen algorithm will be simply init of SR. And after this, we have enc algorithm. So for enc, it works as follows. So first, we just pick random k, And after that, we will just encrypt this K by using state. And deck is as follow. So we will take ST and CT. So we will decrypt by using SR, and we will have K. And if K is not correct, so oh no, S is not incorrect, then we will just puncture out. And we'll return this ST and K as the output of deck. So as you can see here, this SR init is simply, secgen is simply SR init. So the state size will stay same. So by this, we know that, so from here we can apply our, if you check the paper, we apply impossibility result. And now we move to bi-directional ratcheted scheme. So here we have three algorithms: S, gen, and enc, and dec. So here, this gen takes some security parameter and it outputs some state A and state B. And this one will simply generate a pair of state. And next algorithm is enc. So it will take state and it will output some state prime and it will output PT and CT. And basically what it does is simply it updates the state while producing a PT and CT pair. And next algorithm is dec, and this one will take state ST and ciphertext CT and it will output new state and plain text. And basically what it does is it updates the state while decrypting CT. And here, which is slightly different, is the state consists of A and B. So state consists of STA and STB. So actually the reason is that basically we have, so apparently in this bi-directional ratchet scheme, we have two participants, A and B. But here we see this A and B as the same one, and we consider these two state are a big single state. Then now I will explain how we can construct stack from S. So here we start from gen. So basically for gen, what we will do is quite simple. So first we will take gen from S, and we will have STA and STB, and then we will use this STA and STB as the state. And next one is the encryption algorithm. So first what we will do is we will parse ST into STA and STB, and after this we first encrypt with STA, and then we will get PT prime and CT prime. And after this, what we will do is we will decrypt this CT prime by using STB, and we will get STB prime and PT prime. And after this, what we will do is we will encrypt this STB prime, and we will get STB prime and PT and CT. And the state will be updated, and the output will be ST prime and PT and CT. So basically, if you see this figure, so this is the part of A, and this one is part of B. So what we will do in this enc is basically we first encrypt, and from here we will decrypt and send a message. So basically this one transaction is our enc. And next one is the decryption algorithm. So for dec, what we will do is basically we will parse the state into STA and STB. But here what we will do is we will simply decrypt this CT. So here we will not encrypt again. And then we will output this ST prime and PT as the output. And as same as the previous one, if you check the paper, you can see the result you can see the impossibility result that we proven. So actually this is all for this presentation. So as a conclusion, what I can say is quite simple actually, because in this paper, what we did was that we have proven that in SEC, for the post-compromise security in SEC, we need some superlinear state size of the in terms of n. And apparently this result can be applied to other primitives, SR, which was self-ratcheted scheme, and bi-directional ratchet communication. And apparently for these two, we have proven that post-compromise security implies a superlinear state size in self-encryption. And so this is all for this presentation. So thank you for listening. And if you have any question or any doubt, then just you can simply contact one of our author. Thank you.